Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Rattled Rose Podcast. It is your gracious host, Rose. I brought two of my faves with me to talk about womanhood and some of the myths and expectations that have crippled us and how we navigated what society think is a norm versus what works for us personally. First one is my sister, Delisa. That's my mom's daughter. She is a mother of three, a police, and she is soon to be married, and my sister in love. She's also a mother of three. She's a vet as far as the marriage role goes, and she works in HR. So, first of all, thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you for having us.
They
Yes.
are a wealth of information. I have learned so much just by being connected to you all. It has been a blessing because we are alike in a lot of ways, but y'all have different perspectives, and it really, really helps me grow and sharpens me. So I'm going to pose a question to both of you, and it's going to be different just based on, I don't know, I'm just pulling it out. So I'm going to start with Sierra.
Yes.
When you hear the term be a lady or act like a lady, what
Mhm.
do you think?
I think that everything about me is ladylike, but I think society kind of puts on it, be mild mannered, be soft spoken, um, don't be vulgar with your words as far as like cursing, no burping, no farting, no mention of your period, like you're supposed to be like a little perfect little robot.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing. Delisa, when you hear act like a lady, what do you hear?
Um, Kind of conform to a societal norm, right? So act like a lady. Nobody says what is a lady to you. They say act like a lady. So I'm like, what does this person think a lady should look like? So for the most part, a lot of what Sierra said, in addition, be poised, be happy, be gracious, be loving, be kind. Don't have an attitude. You can't be a mad black lady or woman. Always be happy in everything that you do. Like no matter what, you can't be sad, you can't be frustrated, you can't be upset, you can't have feelings for the most part because the moment you're being human, you're not being a lady. So if I'm not smiling while I'm being a mom or while I'm cooking dinner or helping with homework, then I feel like I'm not conform to societal's norm of being a lady. Or if I'm not extra happy in my relationship or at work, I'm showing signs of weakness or mad black woman ish. So I'm not being a lady. So it's just a lot tied into that
Yeah.
ideology.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that being a lady, like to me, it's a loaded statement because it's subjective. Like every person has this different ideal of what being a lady is. But
Hmm.
for me, when I was trying to conform to what you see on TV, right? Because if you watch a love movie, the women are poised and they're encouraging and they're soft and they're all these things. And if you look at some of the older women in your family, that is what they're modeling, right? This is how you be a lady.
Yeah.
And anything apart from that, for me, I'm only gonna speak for myself, it kind of made me feel like I was failing, like I wasn't lady-like enough, or maybe I didn't get the memo, or like I just didn't feel like my womanhood was the right kind of womanhood.
Hmm.
Yeah. No,
So do you?
I agree. I think for me, it's kind of hard. Like I kind of straddle the fence because I do have my own idea of what is ladylike, what
What's
is
it?
not
What is
ladylike.
that?
Like for
Right.
an example, like on a very surface level, like it isn't. I don't personally think it's very ladylike to smoke or to spit or to like do certain behaviors that is like, oh, well, that doesn't, like
Hmm.
that's that's more like if a man is doing it, I don't pay any attention. Well, I think it's discussing when men spit too, but it is what it is. And then it'd be like when a woman do it, then it's like, like it makes me think. So I go back and forth on like trying not to have what was given to me actually be the way I feel when I know that, like you said, it is a loaded statement and it doesn't look the same for everybody. And people are just human. And you gotta let people be who they are. But I also feel like society has, to be a civilized person in our society, there are manners that have to be adhered to and standards for both women and men.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just all assimilate. Like we're gonna go with the flow because that's what society says is right. And try as you will to be the outlier and say, I don't have any of those biases. It kind of, if it was given to you, if you were brought up with it, it's something, even if it's just that little voice in the back of your head, I think it's still there a little bit.
That's true. Those what's your
Literally,
idea
my ideology is like break all chains and break all norms, right? I don't have anything in my head that can refute what being ladylike is, because I feel like as humans, we all compartmentalize how we feel and what we want to exert to the world different, right? I curse a lot. And I hear people say, but that's not ladylike. But I'm like, cursing is an expression. That's how I express myself. I use curse words. You mentioned smoking. I like to smoke some hookah. I'm a grown lady. I'm smoking some hookah.
Like
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a spitter, but I mean, if I see somebody spit, I'm gonna think like maybe she got something in her throat. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, she ain't being a lady. So it's like I don't know what behaviors are tied to being a lady outside of you just being a woman in your own way. And not to say that anybody is wrong about the ideology of it, because we was all raised to have certain, respectable norms of what a lady is. For me, I'm a rebel by nature. I never listen to anything, so I always want to go against the grain. So I'm like devil's advocate. I'm like his little cousin. Like we be kicking it. Like anything that's right or wrong, I'm gonna make it right in my own way. So it's like, for me and what I teach my daughters is just to be yourself. You're a lady anyway. You're a girl. Can't nobody change your feminine energy that you have.
I agree.
Yeah. But I think that it is I think that you have to have a certain level of self-awareness and self-acceptance before you have enough courage to go against what is typical socially acceptable behaviors for women, because okay, so when you think and like I personally don't think anybody should do things like expelling gas and spitting and things of that nature if you can help it in like a social setting. But I do think that there are a lot of things that we see as ladylike and we don't really necessarily even know where it came from. This is just like what we think
give me some ideologies. Give me some.
Okay, so like even myself, it used to be a time that if I like, okay, so just being a lady and being a woman in my mind, like part of lady and womanhood is being a mother. And it took me like within like the last 4 or 5 years to hear a woman say that she does not desire to be a mother and not gasp like, like, where did I get that from? What part of me believes that part of you being a woman or a lady is having a baby? And even like the volume in which we can express ourselves. What if I'm naturally loud like your kids? And I like,
I'm sorry, did you say like me?
Like your kids, like your kids. Like, what if I have a natural, because some people are naturally loud and they're not doing it for attention. That is their volume.
My kids.
That's what I said. And like, how do we suffocate you and somehow make you feel like you're not right to be you and that you need to scale it back? You're asking me to shave off parts of me that it is me. And I don't feel like it's fair. Personally, I don't. So yeah.
I think my issue is a lot of me is not the ideological norm of being ladylike.
Like what?
And I've heard it. Like I've had a guy say, "Oh my God, you were so pretty to me," and then you opened your mouth and I changed my mind because I said a curse word.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm like,
Well, that's rude
I
of
don't
him.
care.
Okay. Guess what's
You know, it's like, I'm sorry you feel like that, but I'm still the same pretty. And if I use these curse words in a different content with you, you will be clapping for them. So yeah, no, I'm not doing that with you.
Yeah. No, I think that he was just rude, number one, and crazy. And but I mean, if that's a turn off for you, say that it's a turn off, but that doesn't change anything about what you were attracted to
No,
begin
not
with,
at
because
all.
your eyeballs don't lie. They like something, boo.
Mhm.
But with that being said, I don't think that you have a lot of like unladylike attributes. I don't know. Like I don't get
It's because
that.
you
So
know me personally.
And I think it depends on who you're talking to as well.
It
Like,
does.
so if I'm talking to a man that, and this is no shade towards men,
yeah.
or not just the men, or very traditional women,
Mhm.
and their perception is that women are to follow their husbands, and that the husband is the lead, and you are to follow with, no questions asked. And it's like, no ma'am, I am absolutely not going to do that. So I think that we have to be careful to not have our preference and then say that it's a mold. This is what you prefer. This is not a standard. This is your preference. And if you don't like women that use profanity, then good. Like, now I know that we don't need to go any further than this. Great. But maybe like, what if I say that you're not a man because you don't use profanity? It's like,
That's
it's
crazy. Right.
Exactly.
Yes,
It's
that's very
like
much
it's just a point where we just projecting, right? Project. This is what I want, this is what I like, this is what I need. And then I'm telling you how to conform to what my likes are in order to be what I think you should be. And it's just like, I don't know how to work like that.
That's a heavy
Okay,
word. So
function.
Sierra, when you hear conform,
Mhm.
what do you hear?
Do as everyone else does. So just blindly follow. If I had to use an animal, just be a sheep.
Yeah.
Just
I feel like
follow
the world is
the crowd,
controlling,
do the
right?
crowd.
Oh
People
yeah.
have their binoculars on certain things, well, what they think people should do. And the
Mhm.
moment you veer off, then they want to just deem you just like, you're not valuable because you don't want to be a sheep or follow their norms. It's like, I don't want to do that. Like,
Mhm.
I want to just be me, and I don't care about looking like a lady to the rest of the world. That
Mhm.
doesn't do anything for me. I'm
Mhm.
happier being me than being them.
Well, one of
Yeah.
the constant things that I keep hearing like more recently is women saying, "Well, I keep hearing by men that I don't have feminine energy," and I'm like, "Well, what is that? What is feminine energy?" Like, I'm
Is that
like,
a 2022 thing?
I don't know, but is it? Because I need to read about it so
It's
I can.
very new.
Yeah.
I've never like heard about it, but okay, so we all have to take in consideration that we're people and we
Mhm.
were raised different, and our circumstances and our experiences were different, and that shapes who we are. Like, Sierra, I've always said that I've always like marveled at how comfortable you are, like emoting outwardly and being excited and giddy. And that's not something that I know how to do. I think that Delisa is
Neither.
one of the most thoughtful people, like in the you two, Sierra, like y'all both really
Yeah.
thoughtful. But those are not qualities that I have, but I still think that I'm a
And
good
it's not a
woman.
necessity.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think that you're very thoughtful, but like Lisa said, it's not a necessity. And I feel like everybody gives something different. Like what you bring to the
That.
table is different. And I feel like this new version of men convincing women that they don't have enough feminine energy is them not having enough alpha
Ooh.
masculinity. Like if you have so much time to think about what it is for me to be feminine, honey, then you're on the wrong wavelength. I'm gonna need you to up your bar, tap into your masculinity, and worry less about what my feminine energy is not giving you, and more about what your masculine energy not doing for me. Because I don't like this conversation, but I've heard it multiple times. I have.
Yeah. More recently, is that
I honestly think what it is right. Like we are so many generations away from women needing men, right? So we don't need them no more. So now men have to show up and show out because who needs y'all? Like we're not in a financial bind. We're not in any kind of bind. We just want to love them and partner with them, but we don't want to be controlled by them. So I feel like them saying, "Hey, feminine energy." You look for something that your grandmother, your great grandma, or your mom may have had, but I can only give you the energy. I don't even know what feminine energy feel like or look like because this is new to me. So I can't only give you the energy that I have. If I'm in a great mood, I can give you my happy energy. If I'm feeling sad, my energy gonna be off. I'm gonna be sad. If I'm depressed or mad, you gonna get whatever energy I have around me because that's all I have to give.
Right.
I don't know if this energy is feminine to you.
I mean, the few times that I've heard it, when I asked a follow-up question to have like a better understanding of it, I didn't get enough information where I had clarity on what is feminine energy, but I do try to make it a practice to not tell a man how to be something that I'm not, and that's a man. How am I going to school you on your manism? And I'm not a man. I don't think like you think. I'm not
the wrong list.
Okay. Huh? What do you say?
I say you testosterone list.
Right.
You can't tell them.
So why can't we just say, I would like it if you did this, opposed to trying to make me feel like I'm a watered down version of something? Because I feel like it's tricky and like allowing yourself to be in that tangled web because you're trying to hit a mark. And every time you get close to it, they're going to keep hiring it and they're going to keep lifting it. It's going to keep lifting it. It's like, no, why don't we figure out if
it's never going to be enough.
Compliment each other. And if we don't, then why don't we call it good? God bless you, and find your person so I can find mine. Compromise and conforming to me is two totally different things. And I can compromise. I can't conform.
Yeah, I agree. Rose. Like you said, I haven't like delved deep enough into an explanation of what they've been told specifically.
They don't have it.
But the things that they've listed is like, it's like that I don't understand it. Like,
shallow.
You don't dress a certain kind of way. Okay, well, if you want a woman that dresses that certain kind of way, number one, ask me, do you like dresses? If that's what you want to see me in, yeah, okay, let's go shopping. You can pick whatever dress you feel most comfortable in because I want to see you dressed up when we go out tonight. Like, and let me pick something I'm comfortable in. Don't just be coming bringing me no thought dress, okay? And then be mad when I don't want to wear it. And then let's go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And then you've gotten to see me as something that you really like and I feel comfortable in it. So now I feel sexy and I'm confident. Like if I'm comfortable in sweats and jeans and you're not taking me nowhere, what I'm wearing a dress for to sit in the house.
Right.
Like,
and see, for me, I don't like for men to tell women what they should and shouldn't be wearing. You know, like I see men like post on the internet. If I see your butt before I see your face, and that's a problem. Like, bruh, if it's not for you, keep scrolling. Because if it is for you, get in my DMs. You know what I mean? I want me a thought dress. I like dressing like a thought. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, short shorts. You know, I don't mind. The less the better for me. And it's not for attention. I like my body. I appreciate this body. It's beautiful. It has done many things. It's bear children. It's carried me. So I'm going to show it. Like, as long as my nipples covered and I ain't got nothing personal showing, I'm going to put that on. And I'm going to feel sexy in it. And whoever don't like it, don't have to.
Right.
Exactly. And there is a time and place for everything. If I want to put on a thigh dress, then absolutely. But if I'm like, I want to go out to dinner or something and I don't like the outfit that you pick because I don't think it's dinner appropriate, then that's not me not having feminine energy. That's you not dressing for the occasion, honey.
Or being controlling.
Yeah. And another thing that I've heard is like, you know, being aggressive with their words, like you're too aggressive with your words. And I've heard that multiple times. And my thing is, if you are a mild-mannered or even-keeled person, and when someone speaks to you in a way that seems aggressive, then speak to people that don't speak aggressively. But like that don't have nothing to do with my feminine energy.
Right.
That's just the style of speaking that I like. I mean,
be an adult and say, hey, the way you spoke to me, I didn't like that. Can we not do that again? Opposed to trying to make it seem like I'm not being feminine because you're not comfortable with my tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to water me down because it makes you uncomfortable. Say how you feel, adult, and we can adjust. You know, we can move forward with that. But it's like if you use your words to say how you feel opposed to talking down at me or throwing daggers at me or trying to berate me, then we can get somewhere. But like if you're trying to make it seem like I'm not something because you don't feel like you're something, then here's the problem. And that's a you problem, not me.
Yeah. I think so everybody has like different preferences and we all have things that we feel compliment us. I think that like instead of us counting people out, I think that differences is an opportunity to have a conversation. And sometimes in having a conversation and trying to understand why a person thinks and feel a way, I may find out while I'm explaining myself that this is not even my original thought. This is something that I inherited from somewhere else. Or I think that people get a little bit offensive when you ask them something and they don't have an answer. And it's okay to just not know. Like there's no reason for you to become combative and things in that nature. And I am a pretty mild-mannered person for the most part. If I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about, my tone may go up. My emotions are flowing, and I don't see like unless I'm like being disrespectful, calling you out your name. Why do I have to why can't I just why do I have to contain myself for your level of confidence? Like, how about we get familiar with one another so we understand each other enough to know that this is her level expressing herself. My boundary is don't use profanity when you talk to me, or don't call me out my name. But past that, like, I don't know if we should really be telling people how to talk. Yelling is one thing, but like raising my voice because I'm emotional about another thing, like, yeah, I don't even know how to not, or maybe I just shouldn't talk to you. I don't know.
I think that going lines with how you said that Sierra knows how to be excited, right? So she may be excited in a happy way. And if she expel loud words from her excitement from being happy, it's okay.
Right.
But if you expel loud words because you're frustrated or you feel misunderstood, then it's not okay.
I never thought
but
like
we
that.
Still being emotional. Happy is an emotion, frustration is an emotion. But people pick and choose when it's okay to use your voice at a higher level. Well, you're being disrespectful. Now, if you're happy, oh my God, thank you for doing this for me. Fine. But if it's, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to me, then it's like you're being disrespectful. Be quiet or lower your voice. You know, so it's like as humans, our tones do change with different emotional reactions. But people pick and choose to not understand, like, okay, well, she's excited, well, she's upset, she's frustrated. So that takes you out of the realm of being a human, and then you're just like a vessel that has to conform and perform for people who can't handle you in different ways where they just can't handle you.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, so I don't like to be around people that are just like me. Like, I don't need anybody to be just like me. I feel like that it's a disadvantage to me. Like, okay, let me understand differences and cultures and belief system and religion. Like, I have my beliefs, but I'm always signing up to learn something new because I want to understand. I think from my experiences in talking to people that a lot of people are just more comfortable telling other people what they need to change and fix. And it's more to do with the fact that they don't know themselves. They really believe that if everybody else would just do what they say and how they do it, that they would be happy. Like, not true. You're not happy because you're not happy. You have poor communication skills. So if someone asks you a question and you need to expound a little bit more of that, like, now you feel defensive or like this, like, I
definitely attacked.
I thought that was normal. Like, if somebody says, why did you, Rose, like, why did you pick a black car? And instead of me saying, what you mean? Like, because I like black. Like,
right. Because I liked it. Yeah. And I think it to go a little bit deeper, it really, when it comes down to choices that can be compared to other people's choices, like everybody for the most part got a different kind of car, like, you know what I mean? Like different models, different colors. So it's like people are a little less defensive when you ask questions like that. I mean, some people just always defensive, but then when you start to get to questions about life choices like that can be compared to others, relationships, or religion, or like politics, things that are supposed to be taboo to speak about.
You're gonna fall out,
like you're asking not just to gain understanding, but because your ulterior motive is to, kind of come for them in regards to their decision making. Like,
but what is that rooted in though? Like what is that rooted in? Because that's what do you think that's rooted in?
Oh, I think that people are naturally competitive. I just think that people
people are naturally insecure.
I was gonna say that's rooted in insecurity and ego.
Okay.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
I think
when I feel like whenever you're not able to listen to a person's point of view because you feel like yours is better, that's ego. Because anybody can tell you why they think or feel how they feel. When you have an opposition to listen, it's just you and your ego. Like you just had this grandiose ideology. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you. I'm giving you the blueprint. This is how I look. And it's like, and if you reject that, then they feel rejected, and then they start fighting back.
Because even think about parenting, right? All three of us parent different.
Yeah.
And there is respect for the differences, the parts that we've like, I ain't doing that. But there's also always things to be learned as well. Like I would be completely ignorant to say, I can't learn anything from you guys being mothers since I've been a mother for almost 23 years. Like it's ignorant. You can learn from anybody. And some choices that I made 23 years ago, I would never do that again. Those were not good choices. That didn't serve, it didn't serve me or them well. And when you know better, you do better. Like, so why are we just repeatedly doing things because, it's always been done like this? Like, no, thank you. No.
Yeah. And honestly, Rose, I would say like not all of the choices that you think were bad choices were bad in general. They may they may have just been bad for you and what works for you. And I think that with every single child, you change not the whole entire idea of what it looks like to be a mother, to be a parent, but you do change the things that you want to do again, you don't want to do again, the things you want to try, the things you don't want to try. I let Pooh, my oldest, sleep in the bed with me forever. And when I had the second, it was like, you're never getting in my bed. I don't care what nobody's talking about. I let him have a pacifier. When she got here, you're not getting no binky, no nothing, no passy, no, we're not doing that because I'm not doing that again. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And so it's like that.
I think also with growth too, like when you learning and you growing, it like so you might have learned and grew. You had 5 years in between one kid and another. Rose, you had teens in between. So it's just growing and evolving because that's what we do every day, right? We learn, we grow, we evolve. So it's like you may have looked at one mistake and not want to repeat it, so on and so forth. And then we can all look at our childhood and how we was raised and say, I'm gonna grab all the great things from my childhood. I'm gonna leave all the stuff that I don't like behind, and then try to conform who you want to be as a parent. Then you learn from your kids while you're doing it. You know, because
they're people, and they're not the same. They require something different. They respond to different things. It's like as a child, for me, whoopings work. Like I did not get whooped. You put me on punishment, I can stay in this house for 3 years. I don't care. So you have to do things that work for you and that particular child. Like some of the things that I probably wouldn't do again is just it was the evolution of my mental and emotional maturity. So it's like, oh, I was really like in my 20s, I felt like I was more emotionally driven. Like now in my 30s, I'm like, well, let me get out of my feelings and really think about how this not just affects me, but everybody. And I feel like that usually have a better turnout than
Yeah.
running off with my emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that most things, I mean, I've heard Delisa say this on multiple occasions, like whoopings are an emotional response. Like you are frustrated, and you need a way to get rid of the frustration, right? So you physically exert yourself to get rid of the internal feeling of frustration. But I do think that is, I mean, how whatever style you want that works for you works for you. I think both work. Like my mom was a whooper. My dad never ever whooped me ever, and I was just as much scared of both of them the exact same.
Right.
You know, he would do this thing where he would take me in the bathroom. He would be holding the belt, give me a speech, start with how disappointed he was in me, and I would cry harder sitting there trying to explain why I did what I did than when I got the whooping. Because when I get done with the whooping, I can go in my room and yell that I hate you on my pillow. And call you all kind of names, but you can't hear it, you know? And you're like, all right. But yeah, like it's always like, it depends on who's doing it. You know, like it worked for my mama and it made me listen to her more than I probably would have listened to her if she hadn't. It didn't, my daddy didn't have to do it. But it just depends. I think it all depends.
Yeah.
So I know
For me, let me just give a disclaimer, right?
I know she's coming.
I don't have any oppositions to whoopings. Let me say that. I just choose not to. I didn't really get whooped. That was a Rose thing. It wasn't a Delisa thing. For the most part, I wasn't really a bad kid. But I do find myself as a mom when I'm most frustrated and I'm most overwhelmed and I most don't feel like explaining myself, thinking, well, I should just whoop her, you know? And then sometimes if I sit down and I breathe and I take my frustration and my emotion and my overwhelm out of it, I can have a conversation and it can be a resolve. And I'm bigger on creating trust than fear because I want my children to be okay with telling me that they made a mistake and us figuring out how to fix it opposed to them hiding it out of fear of my reaction when me whooping them. And I said that if I whoop them, that's what that will create. But I'm just in my home front just trying to create more of a tell-all. Like, you be honest with me, I'll be honest with you. We fix it. We understand each other and we respect each other. I don't have no opposition to nobody, you know, giving their kids a little pow here and there, you know. But I just choose not to because it's for me. It's only when I feel frustrated and overwhelmed do I want to whoop my kids, and that's why I don't. It's never like, oh, well, you was bad, I'm gonna whoop you. Like it's literally like when I'm just up to here, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna whoop them, and they're like, well, now I'm mad and I'm frustrated. I might kill them.
So, well, I don't want to whoop nobody when I'm so mad that I'm going to kill them. I do believe in abuse of anything or like anything of too much is not necessary. I think that kids that get whoopings all the time is ineffective. They don't care. They get used to it. I think that kids that you keep talking to all the time and you promising them that there are going to be consequences and there's never consequences, it's ineffective and it's counterproductive. So I have made it a point to try my hardest, and not to say that I always execute, to not handle them when I'm upset about something. For me, once we get to the point of a spanking, it is because we have gone over this. We have talked in great detail about why this is a boundary for me, and this is something that we do not do in our home. And we have that conversations on multiple occasions. And at this point, I have talked to you. I have taken something that you love. I put you on punishment. The next thing up is a whooping, and you need to be recalibrated.
But did you work with them?
That's effective for me. What do you mean?
As an adult, right? We grown. Sometimes we talk to ourselves like, I ain't gonna do that no more. and you do it again, then you do it again. But we give ourselves grace. I don't feel like children are allowed that grace. So it's like, as much as I work with myself, I try to work with them. So it's like, if I say, clean your room, and it ain't clean, how many times you say you're going to clean your own room, and you don't clean it, but you excuse yourself, but you don't excuse the kid.
Not
so
true.
It's like, okay, well, I'll go in, I say, I want your room clean, let's clean it together. And we'll clean it together, because sometimes either they forget or they just don't feel like it, you know? So I don't feel like forgetting, or don't feel like it warrants a punishment. I feel like I can work with them. I'm gonna come in there. We're gonna do it together. And if I go in and we do it together and it get done, then I'm okay with it. It's just, I just want the room clean by any means necessary.
No. So I don't think that I've ever spanked for not cleaning up a room. However, I'm not cleaning up your room when I tell you to do it. We're gonna do that when you're 3 and 4. At 6, 7, 8, no. Get on in there. And I don't expect you to clean it up like me either, but I do expect you to do what I say when I tell you to do something. So in the times where I felt like we need to have a spanking, it's when we're having a problem telling the truth. And the truth is not because you're scared of me. The truth is you don't want to tell the truth because you don't want me to remove something that you love. So my thing is, one, I need to be able to believe you. I don't care how bad it is. You better, if you lying to everybody else, you better be telling me the truth. And two, I don't want you to ever want something so bad that you'll do anything to get it, like lying. I am not that unreasonable. You don't want to tell me that you didn't do your homework because you want to be on this iPad. And we talked about trust and how fragile it is and how trust takes a lifetime to build and a moment to break. You can tell one lie and I don't believe you no more. Is it worth it? And we're readying our children to go out in the world and have relationships with people. I need you to have integrity. I need you to know how to tell the truth. I need you to have your own mind. I need that if you see something happening that's wrong, even if you like the person, that you call a spade a spade.
Wait, that's a podcast. Does whooping build character?
I don't think whooping build character. But
but I do though, like in a sense. Like, I mean,
you say you do see
a little bit, yeah. Like I feel like having a negative reaction for a negative action is the world that we live in. And as much as we like to say that working with someone, like talking to them and, giving them free passes, the world is not set up that way. Nope. If the world says that you are not supposed to drink and drive, and you decide to drink and drive 3, 4, 5 times, and you get pulled over and they take your license away, they don't care that you forgot that they told you don't drink and drive.
You
like,
forget.
There's a consequence to your behavior every time. Same to your point, Delisa, if I go outside and put my hands on somebody, like I'm putting my hands on my kids when I'm frustrated with them, somebody frustrate me outside, I go to jail. So it's like it do go both ways. You have to understand that there's a structure. When you go to school and the teacher tells you to sit down and stop talking and you still talk, you go to the principal's office, they call me. If I don't correct your behavior, they suspend you. You don't get to go to their school anymore because you don't follow their rules, and they don't care that mommy was okay with you not listening once or twice, right, or 3 times or 4 times. So I do think that like there has to be some type of example of you cannot just do whatever you want because you want to, or because you don't want. You can't just not follow the rules because you don't feel like it and think that there won't be a consequence. You can absolutely do whatever you want. We all got free will. So yes, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But there will be a consequence to your action once you choose to do that. But I do think that kids need a little grace. They do need grace, Lisa. So I'm with you. So like I go both ways because I'm not like overly whooping everybody either. No. But
maybe once a year, maybe. But it's the same thing as
once a year. Annual tail whooping.
Annual. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie. But it's the same thing as acknowledging good choices. It's the same thing as you know, I'm so proud of you because you have been doing your own homework and I have not had to remind you. And I'm watching you ready yourself, or if you fall in gymnastics and you didn't cry, you gave it one more go. I want to give you praise to so that you understand that hard work is important. Forbearance is important. Resilient. Like, so I'm not just going to coddle. Like, yes, when you do something amazing, we're gonna celebrate the heck out of you. And when you do something that and the whole thing is, I am going to correct you with love. I ain't that sure that the world gonna have the kind of grace that I have on you. So I have to ready you for that. And that's real. Like, we've been watching this stuff on the news, and it ain't nobody playing fair. They're just not.
They not.
I disagree. I do not feel like it's my job as a mommy to prepare my kids for how the world is gonna perceive them or treat them.
Why?
My job as a mom is to teach my kids love, understanding, and kindness. I don't know what's gonna happen when they go out in the world, so I'm not gonna make it a prerequisite to say, well, I'm gonna do this because this is how the world's gonna treat you. Like, if you are doing something, or if you're not having great behavior, is we got a few options, right? Like, I clean your room. It's gonna get clean. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna show you. We're gonna go do it together. We're gonna make it happen. Same with homework and other things, because we're gonna follow through with it. It's gonna get done. But it's gonna get done with love and respect. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to put my kids into submission, like clean your room or do your homework, or well, the world's not going to perceive you this kind of way. I don't know how the world's going to perceive you, but I know how I'm going to. Even when you come in from how that world perceives you, I'm going to always be your safe haven. I'm going to always be the person who's going to love you and help you through. So I don't want you to feel like my punishment is going to be corporal because I'm prepping you for the world. The world has never handed me anything corporal in 37 years.
You weren't
How old am I?
misbehaving.
37.
Right. Oh. But okay, so can I add a little caveat? Like,
Go ahead.
I understood what you were speaking to. You were speaking to a very specific thing, but you absolutely prepare your kids every single day for what is out in the world. Like, so I want to say, like, I get what your point was, but I think that you do prepare them. You know, like, we all prepare them to go out into the world, because the world is ugly and horrible, and there's mean people that intend to hurt you. So, like, you know, I'm telling them, don't talk to strangers, and like, you prepare them for the world. We
don't run in the street. Don't play with fire.
Yeah. So I mean, I just want to put that correction out there, because you absolutely prepare them for the world. But I know in that particular.
But I think that,
and I do believe in rules and consequences. I do.
I think discipline is a form of love. Like, I mean, it's biblical. Like, God disciplined those that He loved. It's like the whole reason why we have rules and boundaries is for your safety and your protection. Just like when Dea first started swimming, and I wanted you to get her out of that water because she hated it. She was crying. I'm like, she ain't ready. Your perception was, whatever we start, we finish. That is a form of discipline. That is teaching.
Yeah, I believe in discipline. I do.
Right. But it's with love, though. So if I give you a pow pow on your rump, that is not a lack of love. That is because I feel like we've exerted everything else that I know to do, or that I care to do, as it relates to, you know, talking to you. Hey, like, I mean, especially when we up in here doing TikToks 15 times, you mean to tell me you can't remember to clean? No, baby. Go on in that book bag and handle that. First things first. We cannot be out here riding away because what, like, no ma'am.
Yeah, I think that all of us, like, just, I know you ladies, you know what I mean? All of us discipline with love. I think all of us try to create a safe space for our kids to always know that you can always lean on mommy, depend on mommy, fall back on mommy. Mommy got your back, no matter what anybody else talking about. So I do agree with everything both y'all saying. Like, I think that whether or not whoopings accomplish that is a hit or miss for me. I know human beings in general respond more uniformly, right? Or what's the word I want to use? Like, it is more likely that someone will do what you want from them with negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement. That's not to say that there can't be a happy balance.
Mm-hmm.
But human beings, us on earth, and that's not specific to mothers, fathers, kids, adults, to anyone. All of us we respond to negative reinforcement it makes us conform a whole lot more and conform. Like, maybe you don't want to make your kids conform, but I feel like rules do have to be adhered to. And so whenever you feel like it's necessary to discipline them, however you want to discipline them, do it. But I think that kids need the structure of discipline. They need
consistency.
Consistency is definitely key. And it's like, I feel like as long as kids know what the rules is, what the boundaries are, and what the consequence is, regardless of whether it's a punishment, a pow, a lecture, taking something from, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's just us all three having children and being three different moms and raising our children different. But like you said, it's all with love. Like, I'm not ever saying like nobody, oh, you whooped your kid, you don't love your kid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I can't, me, Delisa, I can't whoop with love. I have no love in a whooping. Once I put my hands on you, ain't no love in it for me. I can't love and hit nobody simultaneously. When I hit you, I hate you. So it don't work for me. So I have to make it work better.
I love you and bop you upside your head.
Yeah. See, I think it's
that
very specific to the person. I think I honestly know that, like, just based on my personality as a child, Delisa, you didn't require whoopings, and you managed to stay out of trouble. I can, like, just think about me and the whole loving fire. It took something.
But you was never out of trouble, even with the whooping.
It
you was
took
a bad kid.
Okay, so I switched. It took something like, had she not nipped it in the bud with the whole fire thing, I could have potentially burned the house down and killed everyone. So I think that everything is specific. It's specific to that particular child. All three of my kids have very, very different personalities, and they respond to very, very different things. So I don't have a uniform look as to how I approach them either. Like, Ramaje don't talk back. That's not his thing. He has a silent rebellious. Rayvon wants to go back and forth. That's not my thing. And, Raya is subjective about what she wants to verbalize. But if I know, I try to do daily assessments on myself so that I know that I'm projecting, maybe I'm tired, or maybe I'm stressed out, or maybe that when I do those things, then I'll fall back off of the discipline. And in an event that I act irrationally, that's the human part of me. But as long as I have enough humility to explain it to you, like, that ain't having nothing to do with you. That has something to do with mommy. Moving forward, mommy is not, when she's tired, she ain't gonna try to, do A, B, and C. That is because I don't know if I knew that my mom was a person when I was little. She was my mom. I don't know if I knew that she was tired. I don't know if I considered that maybe she's stressed out. Like, I don't know, but I think that dialogue and conversation is necessary. But I'm very, very strong on, if I give you a directive and I tell you what's gonna happen, I can't make a liar out of myself. I'm carrying that thing all the way through. Yep.
That's why I don't do it. I don't threat, because I be like, I ain't gonna do that. So I'm gonna sit up and laugh. So I'll be like, I don't like it when you do that. So please don't ever do that again.
I'm warning you. But see, like, every time you say don't ever do that again, I laugh because I think that's extreme. Ever, like, my God. Maybe a few points.
I'm gonna do it one more time.
But like, for real, don't do that no more. I don't like that.
Don't ever. Look at me. Don't ever do that again. Like,
don't ever
do that again. I don't like it. But that, I mean, it's just to say, like, motherhood don't look the same on none of us. Wifing don't look the same.
It ain't no right or no wrong way to do it. You gotta do it work for your home front.
Yeah. But I think that more conversations and not trying to force people to do and think your way, and just, some things you can take, like, I'm gonna try that, and then some things you be like,
that ain't for me.
I
ain't gonna never do that.
Respectfully, like, I feel like,
absolutely respectfully.
Marty and my parenting style are not exactly 100% exactly the same, but we have to find a middle ground that works for me. Like, he doesn't think that kids should have to ask to eat things.
Me either.
And it's like,
but that's how we was raised. We ate whatever we wanted.
Right. And I get that to a sense, and I understand, like, he like, you like the lady who put the lock on the refrigerator. I'm like, no, I'm not that bad. I'm really not that bad. But like, otherwise, what happens is they'll wake up and be like eating Doritos, flaming hot Doritos at 6:30 in the morning. And he's okay with that because you let them go to the pantry.
Will they still eat breakfast, those things?
Well, I don't know, because if they eat Doritos, he was here, not clearly was not home. Because I would be like, what are you doing in the pantry? Oh, you're hungry? Yeah, let's get some food.
Yeah. So, okay, I get why it should be monitored to a certain extent, because when they are like pool age and like when my baby mom's that age, they were eating up everything. And my rule was, my budget is my budget. And I'm not, after it's gone, it's gone. Some people think that is extreme. Figure it out. I told you, I go to the grocery store on Fridays. If by Wednesday you've eaten all of your snacks, no snacks until Friday. And I don't feel guilty about it.
Like I told you, when they're and Riot decided to eat all their snacks for school, right? I believe in natural consequences, right? So the natural consequence of that is you don't have no snacks to take to school. So you're going to take a sandwich and some fruit, and you're going to be starving. Because I go grocery shopping once a month. I go to Sam's Club. I spend $500 on all her school stuff. I'm not going back. They literally ate like 100 containers of Pringles. Sorry for you, sis.
Right.
You're going to be, she came home. She was hungry for 2 weeks straight.
And I did not 7 fruit roll-ups before I left out just now.
Oh, if you have fruit roll-ups, then you eat the whole box.
7.
See, I can't, like, my thing is, I don't want to deal with no sick kid. You know, like, when Mighty let Pooh get in the Doritos, he literally threw up. He ate the whole entire family-size bag. He came upstairs and said, Mommy, I don't feel good. He threw up everywhere, including in the carpet. The carpet, it looked like somebody died. It looked like blood was splashed on.
Why would he eat that many though, Sierra? What in the world?
He's like eating out of Krispy Kreme donuts. I thought he had COVID. Like, oh, this fool got COVID. It's something wrong with him. He didn't ate the whole box of Krispy Kreme. When you go in that pantry and I hear that little, I haven't even greased because I like that it creep. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing down there?
Okay, well, that's extreme. That's extreme. Like, if you get sick, then
why did you think he had COVID?
Because he wasn't feeling good. And it was like, oh my God, he's not feeling good. Oh, he just ran around. He's feeling good. And he's nauseous, and I started reading on symptoms like, what? No, I thought it was something seriously wrong with him. And you let him eat junk food all day. If you give him the option, he will always choose junk. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You can absolutely have some junk food after you eat all this food. And when you think that you snack, get some fruit. And
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. If you eat dinner, okay, so like, my mom used to buy us all, we had our own boxes of cereal. So she didn't say a bowl a day. Now I ate all mine in one day, and I was pretty jealous that everybody else still had this. But
Rose is a dog. Like, then you in my box. Lisa, you ain't gonna eat all that cereal. She didn't want to
save her whole life. You're not gonna eat it.
That's me.
But yes,
that's my kids. Rose, like, your kids act just like you. All they want to do is say they food. Like,
they're so annoying and so irritating. But I do think that there has to be, like, I'm big on, like, I'll let you eat what you want to eat, but you do need to eat the meal that's prepared for you. And I don't even go as far as
seven fruit roll-ups.
Well, every time
that was extreme. And get whatever she wants.
She was following me.
She could have just told her it was all gone.
She knew where they was at. She was bringing them to me. So I mean,
I'm not had them. That's what Mommy did. Mommy said, I had that whole box of fruit roll-up.
Yeah, they gone now, so ain't nobody gonna get none. It's pretty devastating, just for the record. No, but I do believe that we should eat meals because I know that food is health. So like in between your meals, go off. But if you're snacking, you at the table and now you're getting on my nerves, then yeah, we're gonna scale it back. I will put it where you can't reach it. Now you do have to ask, because I'll give you freedom until you show me that you can't handle that much. So we'll scale it back until you can. So again, subjective per child. She was a saver.
Yeah.
I was an eater. I would eat a whole gallon of ice cream and I ain't get sick.
You would.
You was
Little
like, no,
tummy
you
used to be
mama
sticking
pull
out
up
so
to-
far. Little mama was looking pregnant at 8.
That dog was feeling good. Okay.
Fat daddy.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. And what last statements about womanhood in general? Like if you were talking to a 21-year-old that was getting ready to step out in the world and be great, give me 3 things that you would tell her. Anybody can go.
I
I
would
would tell her to
say,
be assertive. I would tell her to
Yeah.
be kind. And I would tell her to be loving.
Okay.
yeah, I agree. I would tell her to never forget to compliment herself first when you're being nice. Because I mean, we or being kind. Like we tell girls a lot to be kind or to be nice, and we never tell them start here first.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell her that she is special, and I would tell her find a dream and then go after it.
Hey, I'm here for that.
What you got, Rosalie?
I would tell her to absolutely love herself
Yeah.
fully and wholly. I would tell her that dream big because she is so capable of so many things, and to love hard, even when it hurts. Just love hard because love don't always do.
That's a good one. Because it's so hard to love hard after you've been hurt. You be like, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
Okay.
For real.
Yes.
Oh my God. So I hope you guys enjoyed my favorite girlfriends. You will definitely be seeing them again. They are a good time, and on Zoom in real life. Turn up.
Yeah.
Judd, let us know what you thought of this episode. We can be reached at Rip, Rattle, and Rose Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Let us know what you think of this episode, and anything that you do with your children or womanhood that you find offensive. Drop your comments. We want to know how you think, what you feel, and what you guys do, because we're trying to learn from one another. We are out. Good night. Bye.
Bye.